The work that Stephen Covey created through the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that book's been out for 25 years. It is a book based on fundamental principles, and what I loved about it was it helped inform the language in our business model. One of the greatest lessons that I learned from Stephen Covey was he would do trainings all around the world, but I only saw him in this country. And during lunchtime, he would take the people that were facilitator certified and go do small little luncheons with them. And so anywhere from 10 people to 30 or 40 people would be in here. And he would sit down and eat lunch with us and tell us how things were going. He was a dad of 9 children, and he would talk to us about how the 7 habits were opening up in his life. And he talked about the principles of running a good business and a healthy business, and that they're the same principles of running a good family and a healthy family. And he would say that, his supervision time that he had built into his model of developing his people, he did the same thing with his kids. He would go out once a year on a trip with each one of his 9 kids and take them, so he had unobstructed time with them, that he had uninterrupted time with them, so that he could get to know them as a human being. Same thing that he would do and advise us to do on our business teams. And so it really helped me understand being an integrated leader at a very, what I consider, highly developed level, listening to him. And my work with the Chopra Center and with Deepak Chopra, I've been studying there for about 10 years. And what I loved about Deepak and the Chopra Center's work is that they understood spirituality and understood business at the same level. And how do you integrate those two things into your life? How do you be a spiritual being and create the highly effective human experience? And in fact, Stephen Covey was the one that introduced me to Deepak Chopra. He had showed Deepak's videos when Deepak was just coming to the States, and that's how I was introduced to him. And Deepak's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, is still one of those quintessential books that transfers all of life as an integrated being, not just business, not just your personal life and your family, but all over, and principles of the law of giving and receiving, the law of detachment, the law of pure potentiality. How do we believe in the best in ourselves and believe in the best in others, and how do we do that in all of our relationships? And so both of them have taught me lessons that I will take with me for the rest of my life. I think that 7 Habits, one of really Stephen's quintessential teachings was production versus production capability. And what that really means is balance. How do you make sure that you are working towards effectiveness of producing, but then continuing to develop your own capability at the same time? Right? So when we talk about type A people and that they burn themselves at both ends of the candle, right? That is his, P versus PC balance. How do you make sure you create that? He talks about, rule number 2 would be about the term effective, means how do you get a result and create the capacity to get it again and again? Right? So if you're working 90 hours a week, you may get the result that you want in your business model that week, but can you continue doing that again and again? And so this is about sustainability. We hear that word a lot, right? In our environment and our eco-friendly places that we all hang around now. And we think about sustainability of ourselves in a business model and in a life model. I think 7 Habits, that's probably one of the best principles. With Deepak and the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, Deepak has written 65, 70 books at this point. And actually his newest book, which is Super Brain, I would probably recommend on top of the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And the reason being is he's taking the science and the art and putting it together. The biology of how we are created and wired and how our neurology works for us to have the highest brain capacity. You think about bSMART, you're talking about how do we stay smart, and that book, which is Super Brain, talks about the neurology and what activities that we can do from a relationship standpoint and how our brain actually grows so that we can keep our systems most effective and our relationships and our brains in its highest capacity. Fabulous, both of them.